what is the international trade and how important it is for the current world that we live in. Let's go back a little bit in history to the 1995. By this time, with the collapse of the USSR, the US and its allies make an agreement, the Bretton Woods Agreement, in which they agree that they would start to trade between them, but using the US dollar. And the US dollar is going to be backed by gold reserves. Okay, so you could, if you had, let's say, $20 in your home, you could exchange that amount of money in gold. Of course, not a lot of gold. The price that was set by them, that was set by then. So that was the idea. But after that, the US is going to stop backing the dollar with gold, but the rest of the nations used is continually were continually using the US dollar. Okay, why is that the case? This is because, for example, in the case of Bolivia and Bangladesh, we do not want Bangladeshi currency. Neither the Bangladesh people want Bolivian pesos, for example. They don't want them, but we want to exchange. Okay, for example, Bangladesh produces a lot of textiles, a lot of clothes. On the other hand, Bolivia produces a lot of oil and agricultural products. So so Bangladesh is going to sell textiles to Bolivia, and Bolivia is going to sell agricultural products or oil to Bangladesh. Okay? But as we know, we have the problem of the currency. But what happens is that Bangladesh wants also goods and services from the US, so they are going to exchange with them. They are going to have dollars, and Bolivia is also going to sell oil to the US and agricultural products to the US, or services from the US maybe. So they are going to also have dollars, and with that amount of money, we can now use our money and exchange with Bangladesh. Okay? So that's the idea. That's why the US dollar is so important, because we may not like we may not want other countries' currencies, but we want US currency, the US currency. We may not trade with other countries, such as, for example, Serbia. For example, Bolivia almost doesn't trade with Serbia, but Bolivia trades with the US and Serbia trades with the US, or maybe Serbia trades with UK and the UK trades with the US. Okay, so at the very end, it all ends and starts with the US. That's the reason, because right now is the is the most important economy in the world. Okay, in recent decades, of course, the Chinese yuan, has gained a lot of importance, and other currencies as well, such as the Indian currency, the Japanese yen, the Russian currency, and so on, and others as well. But that's the idea, that right now is the most important. Okay, now other thing. Yes, so every country is going to be good at producing something and wants to consume another thing. Okay? So that's the reason why, for example, Bangladesh, that is very good at producing textiles, but is not good at producing cars, for example. So they are going to have to import from Germany. And here we're going to learn two terms. The first is um, the first is tariffs. A tariff is a tax that you impose on imports or also exports. Okay, for example, if Bangladesh wants to boost um, its production of cars, so they are going to make tariffs on Germany, you know, and that's the reason. And also, on recent decades, we have started to see uh, trade agreements, regional trade agreements, okay, like NAFTA, that is between Canada, North America, and Mexico. or also the WTO that englobes almost every single country on earth. And the WTO was boosted with the entrance of China in 1998, approximately. Also with the Mercosur, for example, that is a free trade agreement between Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Also ASEAN, that is between Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, those countries. Also in Africa, we have seen the African Alliance, and of course we have the most one of the most important and one of the most developed, that is the European Union. Okay, so